Welcome to PokéBiz, and I'm about to show you how to turn these into this.
Hey guys, welcome back. And this week, of course, I said I'd do a follow-up, so here I am. I just had so much fun, guys. I have so much fun researching like ETBs, investable products, and stuff that I usually don't tend to focus on because they usually tend to be more expensive. And in some aspects, I'm right. Like, holy crap, some of these prices. But there's some things I need to get out of the way. I too make mistakes, and I looked back and I actually found a set that's in Sun and Moon that I felt kind of takes up the number 5 spots. I'm just gonna say this now. Shining Legends. Shining Legends is a beautiful set, and I truly believe, in my opinion, that it could take the spot of Cosmic Eclipse in the number 5 spot. I believe it's such a beautiful set, and I personally have 2 of them too, at like the price range of like $334. And if you're a Mewtwo fan, which I am, they're just such good collectibles. Like, I know Cosmic Eclipse is beautiful, it's great, but man, just the cards. I love Mewtwo. I love the box. It's just, it's my number 5 spot. That's all I want to say. And also another comment said by PokéGrindin. I saw the comments. Believe me, I'm using Canva right now to actually record, and they actually don't allow this little webcam bubble to get any bigger than that. Now I could use different programming, but why not? This is for fun. I want to, I'll put an effort to do the research because I like it, but I'm not really big on this stuff. So this is what you get. Hopefully you guys like it. Maybe if there's more comments about my small webcam, you want to see my face more, but if not, enjoy the content. This is what we're doing, baby. So today we have top 5 XY era ETBs, and man, guys, there's some doozies in here. Now, a lot of these prices, at least for the cards, are TCG Player. For some prices for the boxes, I couldn't actually find a TCG Player because they weren't being sold on TCG Player. These things are so hard to find that people aren't just regularly selling them on this platform. You can go on eBay, there's some being sold there. Even on eBay, there aren't being sold, and only like one in every few months is being sold. And it's so hard to find out on them. So I will let you know when the prices were either found on eBay or they were found on TCG Player. Now, the one you're going to see next was not found on TCG Player because they're not being sold on it because they're that darn expensive. And they were found on eBay was number 5, Primal Clash ETB. Now, I'm not just putting this because this ETB is my absolute favorite in the whole gosh darn world, and like the set is too, but these are so darn expensive, and later I found out why. So the reason why the boxes and the cards and the packs aren't worth much, but the ETBs are, is because they did not make a bunch of these. Like, they made a bunch of the boxes, like booster boxes. They made a bunch of the packs, but they did not make barely any of the ETBs. And people believed that they were gonna make more of them, so they didn't really care about investing them in the past. They just opened them up. But so basically, they made a bunch. They made a small amount of this stuff. People opened them up willy-nilly, which left barely any of them lying around. Even worse, good quality near mint ones that were kept well and stored well, because people didn't care about this set that much either. Like, they liked it, but they didn't really, it wasn't like a big one. So it's one of those things, like, you were lucky. It wasn't that you saw this as a great investment. You were lucky if you had one and just kept it in good conditions, because now they're being sold for $2,400 on eBay, or roughly around there. But in the top notch, when Pokemon saw its biggest, it was sold for $3,000 plus easy. Like, this thing was just so popular, and right now, if you have this in your collection, it's like a jewel. It's like a jewel in your set. But the reason why it's on the number 5 spot is it is collectible, because it's hard to find, and they're probably never going to reprint it. But it's it's one of those things like you had to be lucky to have acquired. So one of those luck-based things. And I'm saying this for the Groudon box. If you have the Groudon version, because for some reason Groudon, well, I know the reason, it's my favorite Pokemon. It's such a popular Pokemon, but it's more popular than the Kyogre box, and it can be seen in the price difference. Now, this Kyogre box was seen in the same light where it wasn't printed as much. People were opening up willy-nilly, and like the Primal Clash, it was okay. But still, it's being sold for $1,500, which is more than any other box that I'm going to mention here soon. But yeah, if you have the Groudon ETB for Primal Clash, man, let's be friends, because I want that box. Now, if you look through the actual cards that are in this set, there's nothing expensive, guys. Primal Kyogre is an expensive EX. Alpha at $30. Primal Groudon EX, $30. Kyogre EX, 25. And again, this is near mint price. This is not even like damaged or heavily played or lightly played. This is near mint price cards, guys. So it would be an absolute crime, to open up your ETB, because that is the only reason why it's collectible was when it is sealed. So remember, guys, if you guys see a Primal Clash ETB with Groudon especially, but even the Kyogre selling for around these prices, like less than these prices, like I think it would actually be a good snatch up. And like, especially with the whole recessionist environment that's going along, when people get real nervous, when they get real scared, they try to sell this big collection off at once. You might see these things selling for really cheap prices, and that might be the good time to snag up. And now that you know the regular prices, what they were going for, you now know like the baseline of what you believe a good price of it is. Again, remember, guys, Primal Groudon, the ETB is about 2,400. The Kyogre box was 1,500. Then moving on to the number 5 spot, we have Ancient Origins Elite Trainer box going for around 500 bucks. Now, this was really hard for me to put in there because it's 500 bucks. Even at this point, it's real expensive to justify. And unlike the Primal Clash, it didn't come with, like, they reprinted a little bit more of them, but they didn't reprint a lot again. And also, this is a relatively popular set. When you look at, even back in the day when when X and Y came out, people really loved this set. And why wouldn't they? Look at these beautiful front runners when you have for the cards. You have the Mega Rayquaza EX Shiny Full Art going for around 90 bucks. The Lugia EX, like Lugia, oh my gosh, just this card, for some reason, I don't see it being printed in the newer stuff. Like, it's just Charizard. But it seems like Lugia was forgotten, even though it's kind of a cash card. And you have Primal Groudon, my boy, coming in at number 3 spot. And I love the gold framing you see in the cards. It's something that I haven't really noticed. Like, I'm sure you see in Break when that came out, and Breakthrough didn't make the cut, guys, just a little hint. But like, this was a set for like gold flashy colors, and I believe this kind of like enunciates it, because like it's there, but it's not too flashy. You know what I mean? You can still see the Pokemon, you still see like the aura is and the powerful Japanese lettering. Like, it doesn't overpower it, but it's just a nice touch, like a fine wine going with cheese. It's so good. Moving up to the number 3 spot, and personally, I think this is, if there wasn't these other two in the set, this would definitely be number 1 somewhere else. But Phantom Forces Elite Trainer box. Now, this box price was from an ETB. From the Ancient Origins, that was from TCG Player, because there were still some people selling it on there, but this could not be found on TCG Player. There was one listing, but I did not trust that, so I went on eBay and I looked for recently sold, and this is about the median price that I see. Now, again, this is one of those things where if you see something being sold for less than this, I won't really say it's a great price, but if you see it selling for around like 1,500, yeah, guys, that's a steal based on what these things were being sold for in the past. And to be honest, when you look at some of the cards that are in this set, especially like, okay, just before we even get into the cards, look at the box. It has Gengar in the front, and Gengar is a fan favorite loved Pokemon. And for good reason. This card is so sick and sweet. It's one of Ash's main Pokemon that was gathered through like a sad, tragic backstory. You know, it's one of those hard tugging ones, and he turns out becoming this powerful main front runner for Ash. And it shows through with like the cards that are in this set. First, okay, number 1 card isn't Gengar. It's Dialga EX Secret Rare going for 110 bucks, but it's a white shiny, guys. That's so sick. And because like you don't see those anymore, like just plain white shiny cards. And naturally you have Mega Gengar EX Secret Rare for 45, and you have Gengar EX for 40 bucks. This set is Gengar to the max, and you have the Dialga is like the cherry on top. Everything about this set is sick, and it shows in the price of the ETB. When the cards are great, when the number of the ETBs is lacking, and when the ETB itself is a beautiful like collector's item, you just have this very expensive product, and it shows, guys. So again, 2,400 is what they're being sold now. If you see people selling it for bulk, they're the bulk collections later, and you see this in there, definitely take that into account, because this baby is worth a good bit, and I believe in the future it'll be worth a good bit. So moving on, man, I love that set. We have the set that basically made Celebrations so big. We have Generations Elite Trainer box going for around $677.97 on TCG Player. Boy, man, if people would have known this, they probably would have scooped up a lot more of these. But because this is so expensive, this set literally is what made Celebrations so expensive, and like why people are like literally scooping up as much Celebrations as possible, because this kind of shows that people loved this set when it came out, and that people still love this set 5 years later. And it's my theory, guys. It's my theory when they come out with the 30th year celebration, that the Celebrations that we have right now is going to be almost I wouldn't say as expensive as Generations, because Generations was the first to actually do this whole celebrating theme, but it'll be definitely up there, especially if you have a UPC. Like, that's still a steal if you got it for around 200 bucks or less. It'll be worth a decent pretty penny, guys. And I personally, I have 3 UPCs for investment purposes. I'll probably might or might not sell one coming up soon, but yeah, this is one of those sets I invested the most in, celebrations wise. And if I was to go back and saw Generations, yeah, like I would have definitely been heavily investing in this product. And like, I know I'm hyping this up and it's only the number 2 spot. So you're probably wondering, what's number 1? Well, first, let's look at the cards in Generations, because like they definitely look a lot different when you go to, oh guys, these, first you have Mega Charizard EX going for around 60 bucks. You have Charizard EX going for around 20 bucks. And you have Jolteon EX going for around 15 bucks. Now, Generations is big because it is, first of all, celebrating Pokemon 20th anniversary. It's the first time they tried this certain theme too, so that's also a big factor why it's so popular and big. The box, looking back, it's cool. I like it. It has a Pikachu, the cheeks for the 20. I think it's a well-designed box. Probably looks good. And like, if you had like the Generations box, the Celebrations box, and then whatever they're coming out with the 30th anniversary, I think that's a good thing to show off with your personal collection. So I definitely, as collectors, I believe they'd want the box itself too. And overall, the cards in the set are actually pretty darn collectible as well. Like, even Jolteon at number 3 is a loved Pokemon, one of the original evolutions. So I believe it's earned its right to be number 2 investable set. It'll be loved for years to come. It'll be what is seen as a way to celebrate Pokemon, and people who love Pokemon, regardless of what they know what's in the set, know what they're looking for in terms of collection. And you know, the Pikachu face is just so iconic. So moving on, number one spot, and I should have split the pictures, but we have the XY Evolutions Elite Trainer box going for around 400 bucks a set. Now I say a set because there's a lot of people selling a set of Charizard and Blastoise for around 400 bucks each. But whenever I look at the pricing, if you could only take one, now people do love sets of like double sets of ETBs, but if you can only have one, I would recommend, of course, guys, the Charizard XY Evolutions ETB, Mega Charizard Y. And as you can see from the price point, it went down at a certain point, but it went back up. It's just such a popular set, and I believe it is one of the biggest sets that got many individuals back into Pokemon. Now that is a key factor and a big point to mention. It is a set that got people back into Pokemon. So let's say 5 years down the road, when people look back and maybe something gets Pokemon hyped up again, maybe another celebrity buys $3 million worth of Pokemon and burns them, who knows? But if this set ever becomes big, people who are fond of XY Evolutions, which got him back into Pokemon, I think PokéRef, even the big name himself, got into Pokemon because of this set, or back into Pokemon because of this set. They're going to look back at this set fondly and they're going to want to collect it. They're like, man, I really like this set. I remember the nostalgia and what got me into it to begin with. And I believe that will shoot up prices because of that collectability. Now, I do believe something big has to happen for that to really shoot up. But if it does happen, then you're in the money, guys. Like, again, this is like 227 bucks compared to like the Blastoise that we see selling for around 210. Now, people are selling it for sets for 400, so you kind of get like a deal with that. But yeah, I personally recommend the Charizard version. As you know, Charizard's well loved, well liked, and even if you're not the biggest fan of X and Y Evolutions, if you're a fan of Charizard, it's like a must-have box in your collection. And it's so cheap, guys, compared to all the other prices in the set. And the reason why I also put it at number 1 is because this is one of those things that even the normal man that wants to invest can get into without being too terribly sad if things don't go correctly or don't go awry. Again, it's 227 bucks. It's sad. It's still a lot of money. It's more than most Sun and Moon boxes and modern set boxes, but it's nothing that will break the bank. Like, let's say the Primal Clash, if you bought that at the 3,000 mark when the Pokemon's as high, you're definitely hurting right now. Like, it dropped 600 bucks. It's probably going to drop more to like 2,000, 1,000, 900 maybe. But buying into this and it drops, let's say, to 150, it's not that bad. It's not that big. But this has the potential to be like one of those 400 boxes easy if you hold on to them for like a good amount of years. Because technically this is kind of, although it's not meant to like celebrate Pokemon, it definitely kind of sort of did when it added these beautiful cards to remind us of good old Charizard. This set is chock full of them. And it's full of the original looking Charizards too, which is a big key factor and why I believe this is also one of the best investments, is because people are able to maybe pull this original Charizard without the celebration stamp. Now, when you look at celebrations, they also have a Charizard in there, but it has a stamp on there that really shows. But this has a Charizard in there that you don't really see a stamp. It kind of looks like the original. Now they'll know based on looking at the stamp that it's from Evolutions, but it's such a small thing compared to the big Pokemon Pikachu face on celebrations. So yeah, you see the Charizard going for around $40, Mega Charizard going for EX full art going for around $40, and Mega Charizard EX. I tried to say full art for the second one. Anyway, for $15. Again, all these ETBs, they are collectible because they're low. There's not a big amount of them, and they're well liked with the cards in their set. But I think it'd be a crime to open them up to get the cards in any one of these sets because the cards don't really equal out the prices of these ETBs. Again, the price comes from you keeping them sealed for such a long time and being a centerpiece that, hey, I have this box that was kept for a long time. Like, look at me. It's kind of like a status symbol almost. But yeah, guys, that is my X and Y era ETB top 5 list. You can agree, you can disagree. I personally went through most of the list. Like I was dabbling with Breakthrough because, like, honorable mention, I guess, moment, because it had like the first Breakthrough cards. The Breakthrough cards themselves weren't really that popular. I personally, I liked them. It was like so much flash, so much gold, and it was different. It was different. Horizontal cards, that is different. And the fact that they were the first to come up with that shows that they have some uniqueness, even though it is a Gyarados based set. Gyarados is well liked, maybe not as big as Gengar, stuff like that, but I believed it was a decent set. And so that's my little honorable mention. All right, guys, that is it. Have a good day. Let me know if I said something wrong too, or there's something you want to criticize. Please do. I want to learn. But even though, like, also I'm just going to enjoy the day. I enjoy doing these. Who knows what I'll do next? Maybe I'll go even older. We'll see. See you next week.